Welcome to this episode of the She Scales podcast, where today we're going to be talking about how I'm evolving the She Scales brand, who we are, what we're about, and what you can expect inside this house. I'm so freaking excited that you're here. If you're a brand new listener and you found us recently, awesome. Hello. And if you're a long time listener, hello too. Drop us a like, drop us a star, leave us a review. We love to hear from people, whether you're brand new in this world or whether you're a long time listener of either the podcast or you're a new listener on the YouTube channel. Welcome! Now, I wanted to create this episode because I've been evolving the She Scales brand. It's been a limited company and a global company already, but we're really about doing things differently, especially in 2026. Having a far more elevated front of house view, and making sure that those strong company values are distilled not just from a front of house social media, the aesthetics, how things look from the outside, but making sure that all of those values are intrinsically brought through everything that we do, how we operate, and me sharing that with you as the founder so that you can get to see what's it actually like inside this business house, not just what does it look like from the front and the outside, but what you can expect inside this house, no matter where you are in our world, whether you're someone that's inside the free experiences, the Facebook group, or coming into our masterminds. And so you can take a seat, grab a cup of tea, go get a coffee or a glass of wine if that's your thing, depending on what time of day it is, although it's always 5 o'clock somewhere. So get some bubbles and come join us. Now, at the time of me recording this, I've just sent to my email list a company values presentation, which I have never done that before. And that's part of how we're doing things differently. This isn't just a how we want to be seen, or here's what I'm promoting right now, or here's this new offer. We're really about positioning. Here's where the brand is going. Do you want to come with us on this journey? Here's what She Scales is about as a brand, as a community. Here's what we stand for. Do you want to come with us on this journey? And so I've just sent, at the time of recording this, an email to my whole list with a video actually showing the behind the scenes of the company, where we're going, how they can take part in that if they want to, when they want to, what that looks like, what to expect from us going forwards. And so a very different behind the scenes video. So yeah, we are 100% doing things differently for 2026. And so wanted to come share little bits of that, but share a bit more with you guys about what you can expect coming forwards, who we celebrate in this house, how we celebrate them inside this house, and the types of women that really, really excel in our world. So, number one, our first value ethos is we celebrate the too much women of the world. The rule breakers, the change makers, the ones who can't be tamed, the rebel women, the wild women, the women who run with the wolves, the women who are too bold, too direct, rude, bossy, intimidating, the women who've been told they talk too much, talk too loud, or take too much space, the women who are disruptive, argumentative, the women who refuse to stay quiet. The women who refuse to follow, refuse to settle, the women who march to the beat of their own drum, the women who would have been burned at the stake. I know I would have been burned at the stake, 100%, not a doubt in my mind. The women who've harnessed their too muchness and are now building their empire with it. So that's just number one. We celebrate too much women in this world. Whatever that looks like for you, whether it's like your brand personality, whether it's your personal personality, whether it's how you like to dress, whether you swear all the time, whether you F and blind, and whether you speak in short sentences, whether you speak very professionally, whether you are really unprofessional. This is about celebrating women and helping you sell more and sell out and sell loud by really embracing your own uniqueness. So that's number one, is celebrating the too much women of the world. You are safe in this space, welcomed in this space, and freaking encouraged in this space. The more uniqueness you bring to the table, the better everybody else is. Everybody has their own main character energy embodied. And so the more that you can harness that, the more that you can embody it, the more that you can bring it out, we can just bring a whole celebration, a whole festival of uniqueness to the internet and in person by harnessing everybody's individual personalities, strengths, colors, choices, clothes, all of it. I'm here for all of it. Number two, the things that you can expect inside this house. We talk about money regularly and unapologetically. What you focus on grows. So we focus on cash flow. As you're growing and scaling a multi-six, seven-figure business, talking about money, knowing your numbers, forecasting effectively, talking openly about cash flow, your profit and loss, investments and expenses. These are all daily conversations that we have inside my masterminds. Gone are the days of weirdness or unhealthy money mindsets or habits. When you join the She Scales brand, this means taking ownership, accepting the past, not judging yourself for it, deciding to become a better manager, better investor, better generator and circulator of money, income, cash flow, and wealth in the future. It's a conscious decision that you're making. You're not judging yourself harshly for where you've come from, what you knew back then, the money stories that you grew up with, good or bad influences that you had. You're taking ownership for where you're at right now and deciding to be the best person for your business and your community right now, but also to take positive forward action to increasing your knowledge around money, your cash flow within the business, and just your financial literacy so that you can be the best business owner you can be and also the best leader for your clients. And grow the best company, as in high profit margins, low expenses, and be a good manager and circulator of money and wealth. So that's number two, is we talk about money regularly and unapologetically. This is not something that we shy away from. The more you talk about it, the more it opens up more conversations and access and information for other people. And so we do that regularly inside this house. Number three is we combine strategy with main character energy. Sometimes your next chapter is rooted in refining and up-leveling your strategy. And there's work to be done on your messaging, your content, your sales process, and the level of client that you're calling into your world. But other times it's an identity issue. It's you remembering who the fuck you are and what you came here to do. It's you remembering that you are the best sales strategy and that every strategy works when you are on fire. It's releasing the need to perfect that funnel again for the 12th time, update your sales page again, or go tweak your messaging for the 20th time and actually be someone that your audience wants to invest in. So we need to apply both all of the time, but knowing which one you need most in that season of the game is part of the game. And it's the ever-evolving fun of scaling. Because yes, we need both. Potentially you need one lever more than the other in one particular season. I personally have found that to be true, as in there's times where it is completely about refining the strategy. Like, are you clear in your launch program? Are you clear in your messaging of who you're speaking to, exactly what problem you solve, how your offer help that person? And then other times, you don't need to constantly refine that and perfect it and get into the nuance and look through the click-through rate and could we tweak a percentage over here to change the output over here? And you can just get so lost in the masculine structure that actually you lose so much of your feminine magnetism and your intuition and your inner fire and your inner knowing. And so inside this house, we combine both. Sometimes you're going to speak to me and get some hot as fuck strategy and exactly the little tweaks that you needed, the nuanced little changes, my eyes on your stuff that can zero in on things just to give you exactly what you need to help blow up your launch and massively increase your cash flow over the year. Sometimes I'm going to tell you, you are way too deep in the strategy and actually your audience need to see you, why you care, your main character energy, why you give a fuck about this thing. That is what's going to sell it far more because you're going to be coming from a place of, I care about this thing so deeply, I'm going to be doing it regardless. If you want to come with me, come with me. That's far more magnetic than you tweaking the sales page for the 20th time. So inside this house, we combine the strategy with your main character energy. You cannot have one or the other. Strategy without main character energy is just boring, flat, and it won't work on its own because you will just be buried, uninspiring, unmagnetic. Is that a word? Whereas on the other side, if you're full of beans, full of main character energy, but there's zero strategy behind that, you're going to leave yourself constantly either creating new stuff, constantly busy, packing your stuff on a day to day, whilst actually not really seeing where is it that you're going, why are you doing those things, and being intentional about your actions and your habits. So we need both. So that's number 3, is we combine strategy with main character energy. Number 4, sex, money, pleasure. Whoop whoop. We talk about inside this house all of the things that women have been shamed for speaking about. There's nothing off the table inside this house. Nothing too weird, too much, or nothing that shouldn't be talked about. We're in the business of helping you to scale your business, your sales, your life, your identity, and your main character energy to untold and uncapped levels of joy, happiness, success, and cash flow. Which means that sometimes you don't need another fucking strategy. You need to go live a little. Like, do you need to refine your launch strategy, or do you actually need to go drop it like it's hot in some sort of sexy dance class, or even just dancing around your bedroom, for fuck's sake, and showing yourself some unapologetic self-love? Likely it's both. And hey, even if you don't need it, but you just want it, 100% would openly encourage you to do that. That should absolutely be part of your launch strategy, is dancing sexy for yourself because you can, speaking to yourself in the mirror like the queen that you are, reminding yourself who the fuck you are, and that will be the best thing that you do in your day for your sales process and your audience and your magnetism and your main character energy, more so than any looking over your offer for the 20th time or writing a new email whilst feeling like dead behind the eyes. No. So inside this house, we talk about the things that women have typically not been able to speak about, not had access to speak about, or it's been behind closed doors. These things are happening on our mastermind conversations. And I don't just mean about like sex, money, pleasure as well. I said in number 2, I think it was, about us talking about money. So again, information and conversations that have typically either only been behind closed doors or not been in the hands of women. And so in our mastermind conversations, these are the things that we're talking about. People are sharing knowledge, showing up, pulling up a chair, learning, listening, implementing. Because when we talk about you being the generational change maker, it's not enough to accept that your mother and your grandmother and all the ancestors before you didn't have this information, they didn't have these opportunities. Like your nan or grandma couldn't even open a bank account without a man's permission. But you're here with all of these opportunities, with uncapped opportunities to be able to earn an income, have massive opportunities come to you, create massive opportunities for yourself and your audience and your communities. And so, yes, we lean in, we talk about things that aren't typical, we talk about things that might be holding you back in business, in life, whether that's you're not having enough orgasms, whether that's that you're shying away from massive visibility online, whether that's you're shying away from money conversations, whatever it is, we have those less pretty, but absolutely necessary conversations here. Number 5, we celebrate wins loudly. Money wins, yes, of course. Milestones achieved, of course. Hitting levels that you didn't previously imagine possible. Yep, absolutely. We're getting freaking loud about it. Making in a day what you used to make in a month. Abso-freaking-lutely. But not just that. This is about all of the other, like the identity breakthroughs that you go through, the things that you deliver that you didn't even plan to, the things that happened because you were in your most main character energy, that things just came to you, opportunities came to you, people came to you. The things that you didn't think to plan for or know even existed, we celebrate these things really freaking loudly. Because success is contagious. You win bigger and faster by surrounding yourself with other winners. So yeah, we share our wins. No matter how big or small, every milestone is another step in the climb that as these women venture paths that no woman in her lineage has walked before her. So yes, we get really freaking loud about that. really freaking loud. You might have heard the story about an experiment where if you sit a high achiever next to someone who is also a high achiever, or it might even be if you sit a normal person next to a high achiever, the person's likelihood of success massively increases because of the proximity to someone who is either a winner or a high achiever or very ambitious or has a high amount of drive. And so, who you surround yourself with matters. The circles that you're in matter. And that's not just in your personal circles. Think about the saying of the five people that you surround yourself, or you're the sum of the five people around you. Make sure that those five people are people who are go-getters, people who make the impossible seem possible. They go out and do things, they challenge norms. And this is why get yourself inside masterminds that do that. People who aren't ashamed to say, as you shouldn't be, what they've done well, what they're proud of. Like they share their wins unapologetically, and people love them for that. This is what happens inside She Sells and She Scales. Inside this whole community, we celebrate success very, very loudly, and I wholeheartedly encourage it. I wish that more women would take up space loudly, greatly, and really own the things that they're great for. So that was number five. Number six is we also embrace failure. Like, yes, we talk about the wins and we also talk about failures because you're either winning or you're learning. That's it. You're either winning or you're learning. Every misstep, every failure, I don't call them failures, I call them learnings. It's all a lesson. It's all a valuable part of your journey. And it's all things that you can help others to avoid even after you've experienced them. The strength of your character and your leadership abilities are built in the fire. They're built in the times when luck wasn't on your side and it didn't all go to plan. So fail fast, fail often, and fail forward. If you want to have what most people don't, you need to be willing to do what most people won't. So yes, I wholeheartedly encourage you to go fail forward, fail often, fail fast. I think that isn't that Mark Zuckerberg's quote, but anyway, regardless, I wholeheartedly encourage it. I've learned far more from the times that it didn't go right, or a launch didn't go to plan, or there was a challenge, or there was a hardship, or something unforeseen, because you learn far more about the things that didn't go to plan or didn't go how than you did about the things that all just went swimmingly to plan and you were in flow the whole time and not really stopping to think about the analysis behind it. You were just enjoying the win. And there's absolutely no issue with that. Like if you're riding the wave and you're in full flow, don't stop to analyze it. Like freaking go as you should. But if you're in a season of, or you've experienced a single time of quote unquote failure, then we can absolutely learn a lot from that. What is the lesson? What can we learn? And so, yes, we embrace quote unquote failure, but we don't call it that. It's lessons. You're either winning or you're learning. Number seven, we talk in decades, but we live in moments. Because, of course, you're here to build a legacy. Of course, you're growing a massive movement and you have a global vision for the impact that you're making, and you can see your higher self 10 years from now. But you're also present in the right here, right now, in the today. Enjoying the now, living this day right here, right now to the fullest, knowing that everything that can change in a moment and being deeply appreciative for this moment in time. This is one of the things that I'm really, really grateful that Bali taught me is that, especially coming from the UK where, let's be honest, there's not a lot of sun, so there's not a lot of distraction. And so we really prioritize speed here. There's, especially coming from London, there's a culture of like, yeah, go bigger, go faster, speed, build for the future. And I love that energy, especially around capital cities. But when you go to somewhere where there's not a lot of health and safety standards, where things are very temporary, where growth is happening all the time, change is happening all the time, it gives you a very different perspective on life. And especially for me, who have spent the majority of the last few years in Bali, where the people there are so content with so much less than we experience in the UK, London, wherever, whether you're from capital cities, whether you're from the West. When you go to somewhere like Asia, and especially the Balinese people, because they're absolutely beautiful people, they really prioritize today. And so there's not a lot of rush. There's the joy of the little moments of every day. Bali really, really taught me the the joy in the slowness and the presence and the now. It also very much taught me that tomorrow is not guaranteed. And so if today was your last day, genuinely, have you lived your best life? I can say that I absolutely have. I've lived a life where I plan for the future, but I live as if I'll die tomorrow. And I love that. This is why when people say, like, Sarah, you've got so many stories and you've been so many places, it's like, yeah, because life is short. It's absolutely not guaranteed. At the time we were recording this, I've just heard the news where it's just broke a couple of days ago about the actor Eric Dane, who, for the Grey's Anatomy fans out there, this was McSteamy. Like, such an icon. This I used to binge watch Grey's Anatomy when I was at uni. That was like my standard hangover TV, and I've watched so many of the like all the earlier seasons. I dropped off some of the later seasons, but he was like a pivotal character, like the heartthrob of the show. And now to hear that he went for, because he's only early 50s, I believe, to hear that he's recently passed from a disease that he was only diagnosed with a year ago, and it's just completely deteriorated him as a human, and now he's passed, absolutely blows my mind. Like, think about that. I think he's 53, was 53. And so, like, I'm 36 at the time of recording this. That's like telling me that I've got 17 years left on this earth. That's insane to me because obviously I'm going to live to 100. Duh. But even if I only had 17 days left, I can still say that I've lived my fullest life and that I have absolutely zero regrets. So, yes, we talk in decades, but we live in moments. This is your reminder of, have you been doing enough to fill your cup, create memories, build incredible relationships, and actually leave an impact that resonates right now, not just in the one that you're building, but who do you want to be known for? What do you want to be known for? And what can you enjoy more about that now, as in the brand that you're building? What can you take action on today to like be reinforce what you want to be remembered for? But also, what's one thing that you can do today to bring more joy into today? Where could you have more of a laugh? Or could you reach out to someone that you haven't reached out to in a while? Could you plan to go see someone that you haven't seen in a while? Could you plan your next travel trip somewhere where you've been meaning to go for ages? Like, live your best life. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. So, yes, inside this house, we enjoy the journey and the destination because we appreciate that the journey is the destination. Woo! Enjoying the now and enjoying the future. Number 8 is expansion is the only available outcome. This is not a community for people who like to play small or coast along or be okay with being in a plateau. I know that you don't want that. You don't want that. This is a community for women who move, women who have a fire inside of them, a community for women who are capable and available for so, so much more. And they move relentlessly towards that daily. A place where women are expanding themselves and their business continually and unapologetically. A community for women where expansion is the only outcome. Now, I wanted to run through some of our core brand values so that you can really get to know what we're like as a business, what to expect inside this house, and what we really celebrate loud and proud over here. And so our core values are number 1, unapologetic power. Unapologetic female power. Number 2 is expansion. Your business, yourself, your income, your identity, your influence, your impact, your community, all of the above and more. Expansion. Owning your wild woman identity. Like tapping into that, harnessing that, playing with that, being unapologetic with that wild woman identity that lives within you. No playing small. Nah, nada, not on my watch. Lifting others as you rise. Self-explanatory. Every time that you rise higher, you open the door and give a permission slip to others who are behind you on their journey. Lift as you rise. Inspire others by shining brighter. Take up space. Own your shit. Sell it loud and sell it proud. We celebrate individuality and we celebrate greatness loudly. This is a place for women who are scaling their income, their impact, their potential, and their legacy. Welcome inside the She Scales house. Whoosh! I'm so freaking excited that you're here. If you've been following along either as a complete newcomer or you've been following the podcast since we started at the end of 2023, I believe it was, you've seen a lot of growth, a lot of expansion, both in me as the founder, but also the company over time. And I'm really, really excited to take you on the journey as we further grow and expand through 2026. We have got lots up our sleeve in terms of live events, international retreats. We've got the 2 masterminds online at the moment, as well as lots of other things up my sleeve that I'll be revealing very soon. And so I hope that you enjoyed this episode of me sharing what you can expect inside this house. And in the meantime, if you're not already, come and join us inside the free Facebook group. And if you've got any questions about our mastermind, send me a message on Instagram. It's Sarah Buckland Coaching. I cannot wait to hear from you, and I shall see you inside the next episode. Toodaloo!